Good evening, everybody. Friday, March 26th. Welcome to Big Facts. A lot of NFL moves today. We saw them surface level, and it's really kind of been difficult for a lot of people to make out what has been going on. The immediate reaction. I'm your host, Aaron Barrison. Justin Everett is on a drive home. I'm going to wait a couple minutes for some people to join because I have a theory about what's going on with the Eagles. Initially, I did not like what I thought was going on with the Eagles, and right now I love it. But this is changing the whole dynamic of the draft. It's changing the whole dynamic of every single team from 1 through 20 in this draft. Everybody that needs a quarterback, a playmaker, a defensive player. So be it. We thought we were going to be sitting at 6. Everybody was wondering Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts. Do they move up for a QB? Do they move back? What do they think about Zach Wilson? Is Jalen Hurts going to be enough? So, a couple things happened today. Let's go over the trades first and then let's talk about what they mean. So the first thing that happened today is the San Francisco 49ers, who have been trying to move off Jimmy Garoppolo, even though they went with him. Seems like they kind of were over him in the same way the Rams are and were over Goff. They hit up the Dolphins. They want that number 3 pick. And the number 3 consensus pick seems to be that they are moving up to get Zach Wilson. Now, everybody keeps saying that the Eagles and San Francisco both made an offer to the Dolphins for that pick, and both of them really like Zach Wilson. So that tells you two things. He might be the second QB coming off the board, but the other thing that it tells me is that the Jets, for whatever reason, everyone seems to think are not interested in taking Zach Wilson. So, what did the Jets do at number 2? I'm going to tell you why right now because of these trades. They're in a great spot. The other thing that it tells me, obviously, is that Jimmy G is about to be on the market for San Francisco. Real quick, if you guys are watching this from my personal Facebook page or from YouTube, please follow the Big Facts page. That is where I can see all your comments, answer all your questions. If you want to actually join and you have a video camera, I can send you a link at some point in this process and you can hop on. We can see and I can take your call. So San Fran is going to be moving off Jimmy G at some point. So the Dolphins then take that number 12 pick and they call up the good old Eagles and they trade for the 6th pick. The Eagles move back to 12. The Eagles get a 4th-round pick from the Dolphins and they drop back 6 spots. They get a Miami 4th and then they get a Miami 1st next year. So the first reaction from everybody in Philadelphia is like, well, that takes Jamar Chase out of the equation. He's not going to be there at 12. That's who we wanted. I don't know why he did that, so on and so forth. Apparently and obviously, the Eagles aren't sold on Jamar Chase. Maybe they want someone that actually played last year. Maybe Smith and Waddle are a little bit higher on their boards, but let's dig a little deeper into this. We'll get back to that. So the Eagles give up next year's 5th as well. So Miami got such a haul. They move off their number 3. They swap picks with San Fran in the 1st round. They get 2 future firsts. They don't have to take a QB. This tells me that Miami is completely confident in sticking with Tua this year because why would you trade out of 3? There's going to be a lot of great quarterbacks available. They don't stick with their number 3 pick. They move all the way back, but they didn't want to stay at 12. They did not want to stay at 12. So there's someone that Miami likes at 6, which tells you that it's probably not going to be a quarterback, but it's either going to be an offensive lineman or a skill guy. It's too early to take defense at 6. This top 10 is going to be stacked with offense and skill players. You're not going to see a defensive player come off the board till maybe the Detroit Lions. The Falcons would be reaching if they chose a defensive player at that position. But Miami did not want to stay at 12, so they're going to go to 6. They're going to get someone like Chase. They're going to get someone like Pitts. Now, the reason the Eagles did this, And I have a theory outside of this reason as well. So please stay tuned and listen to this. Um, it gets interesting because all signs are pointing, like I said, to the Jets not taking Wilson. You would have to, at this point, to acquire Wilson, trade up to the Jets pick. Now, seeing as Miami got first round hauls to give away their three, that means if somebody wants to hop ahead of them to get Wilson, the Jets are going to get a massive haul if someone thinks Wilson's the guy they want and they don't want to leave it up to San Francisco to take him at three. So you're looking at a package. If you're the Jets, you're like, God damn, I'm going to get 3 first rounders. I might get a player. I might get a second rounder thrown in there. They're in a position of power. And it's the overall consensus, like I said, seems to be that they're not going to take Zach Wilson at the number 2 pick. So Miami is going to go with a skill guy. Garoppolo is going to be gone. Wilson's probably going to get taken third. The Eagles have a plan, and this is what the Eagles' plan is. It's one of two things. First theory, everybody wants the Eagles to take a wide receiver or a tight end. We've been talking about Kyle Pitts for weeks at this point. He just ran a 4.46 at his pro day. I think he's 6'6". He's a phenomenal blocker. He's going to do a lot of things really well. His comp is Darren Waller. He blocks like he's George Kittle. Everybody thinks he's going to be the next great tight end. He can play the 2 receiver. He can play the slot, or he can play in a double tight end package because he's such a good blocker. Um, they skipped out on Jamar Chase. Now, me and Justin have done some mock drafts. There's going to be a lot of offensive linemen going off the board early. I'll tell you why. So everybody thinks the Eagles are going to lose out on getting an all-pro skill guy because they moved down so much. But let me just break down how this order is going. Jacksonville has the first pick. We know they're taking Trevor Lawrence. We know that New York next is either going to trade their pick for someone that wants a quarterback, like the Panthers if they want to move up, like Denver if they want to move up. They're going to take an offensive lineman or the best player available on their board. San Francisco's going QB. So 2 out of the first 3 picks are quarterbacks. Atlanta needs help on defense, but at number 4, you're not taking a defensive player. It is too big of a reach. The defensive players are not expected to go until closer to the middle of the first round. There's just not that guy. Micah Parsons was considered that guy, but for whatever reason, he's falling down draft boards. You would be reaching if you took Micah Parsons at 4. You'd be reaching with Surtain. You'd be reaching at Farley. So they're either going to take a skill guy because they're trying to move on from Julio Jones, replace him. Maybe they take Kyle Pitts. But I think they take an offensive lineman, and there's going to be an offensive lineman at the start of this draft. Cincinnati, no shot they take anything but an O lineman or Kyle Pitts because they need help. They need to replace AJ Green, but they also need to protect the guy, their rookie, Joe Burrow, who was having a phenomenal season, probably going to be rookie of the year before Herbert emerged. He tore his ACL. They need an offensive lineman. Whoever the best offensive lineman available is who they're going to take. So that leaves you with Miami at 6. They're probably going to take Jamar Chase or whoever the best skill guy is. Detroit needs best player available. Carolina needs a quarterback. Denver needs a quarterback. Those are the next 2 picks. So Trey Lance may be coming off the board. Justin Fields may be coming off the board. You might see 5 quarterbacks come off the board in the top 12. So then you got Dallas, who already is stocked with wide receivers. You got the Giants, who have a good wide receiver core, running back, and just signed Kenny Galladay. And then you got the Eagles. So everybody thinks just because the Eagles traded back that they're going to be out of position to take one of the top guys. I personally feel that unless Detroit decides that they're going to take Devontae Smith with their number 7 pick, that Smith could be available. Pitts could be available if people don't want to take tight end too early. They just can't fathom taking a tight end in the top 10. And Jalen Waddle is going to be available as well. Jalen Waddle's higher on a lot of NFL scouts' boards than Devontae Smith is just because of his frame. And I can guarantee you the Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith, is going to fall down people's boards just because they don't like his size. So moving from 6 to 12 is not going to be a big deal for the Eagles. Now, the other theory. Justin, me and Justin obviously do this podcast. The second theory for the Eagles is that, well, they want to take the best defensive player available. Well, I can't see more than one or two defensive players coming off the board up until the Eagles pick at number 12. Parsons probably not coming off the board because he's sliding. You have Caleb Farley, you have Micah Parsons, you have Patrick Surtain. I think people would agree that those three guys are probably the top defensive guys that would come off the board, and you can get them at 12. You can pair them with Darius Slay, and now you have a very solid secondary, which you haven't had in a long time. And pairing Slay and someone next to them is going to give you an advantage, especially in a division where you have to play Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, Terry McLaurin, and who's the other guy that off the top of my head I'm missing that the Washington football team just signed as well. The receiving core is stacked. So maybe the Eagles want to move down because they know one of the best DBs in the draft, whether it's Surtain or Farley, is going to be available at 12, and they're going to be able to pair them, and they got an extra first round pick next year. That is completely possible. They didn't want to go offense. They think Nick Sirianni is going to do well. They think Jalen Hurts is going to do well. They have a good offensive line. They have a good running back. Someone's going to emerge as a wide receiver, and they just want to go defense. Maybe they draft Parsons because they need that guy in the middle as a middle linebacker. So that makes complete sense for me from the Eagles to move from 6 to 12 because I'm telling you, whichever direction they decide to go, one of the top defensive players is going to be there in the secondary, and one of the top wide receivers, whether it's Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, or Kyle Pitts, is also going to be there. So it makes sense by all cases to move back 6 spots and pick up an extra first round pick next year. I do that all day long, and I think the Eagles made the right move. The last theory that I have, this may shock some of you. Justin calls me. He says, well, Russell Wilson still hasn't been traded yet. I don't think anyone's touching Deshaun Watson with the allegations coming out. Maybe they're trying to put together a package with Russell Wilson. Well, the cap money really doesn't work. They cleared space just so they could sign a backup. That wouldn't work. But like I said, the New York Jets are in a position where if they want that number 2 pick and they want to move back, they're going to get a haul from somebody. The Eagles have been trying to move Jalen Hurts in a package for Watson. They've been trying to move Jalen Hurts in other packages for draft picks. What if the Eagles are putting together extra draft picks, extra first round picks to go ahead and package that extra first round pick together, that extra fourth, the first in the following year, and put that in a package, move up to number 2 ahead of the San Francisco 49ers, who like Trey Lance anyway, trade with the Jets and go get Zach Wilson. It does 2 things for the Eagles. It gives them the guy that everybody believes could possibly and potentially be better than Trevor Lawrence, which I don't know how it's going to work out. Nobody does. But he's a rookie, so you're not going to get a big cap hit. You don't have to make room for a Russell Wilson or a Deshaun Watson. You package all that together. You trade up to number 2. You get your guy in Zach Wilson because it was already rumored that they were trying to get to number 3 to get Zach Wilson. And now the only way to get him is if you package all that together and you go to number 2. So that is the last theory. Whichever way it happens to go, the Eagles made the right move in moving back. One of those guys, even if it's just if you get Devontae Smith at 12 and you were able to acquire an extra draft pick, nobody's going to be mad if you draft Devontae Smith and it doesn't work out. The guy just won a Heisman as a wide receiver. It would be the right pick. No one's going to be mad if you take Patrick Surtain and you package him with Darius Slay and you just fixed up your secondary. So it doesn't really matter. Washington football team has traded the 1951st to Atlanta for the 4th. Is that breaking news? Did someone just break some news to me? That would be incredible. I don't see that anywhere. Can somebody confirm that? Because I don't see that anywhere. Washington football team. Ba 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 ba. Yeah, if it's not from Shefty, I don't see it anywhere. We'll talk about it again if it happens, but this was just wrote to me, and I don't see that anywhere. So Eagles make the right move. Howie made the right move. Trading back 6 isn't going to hurt you. One of the guys you like is going to be there. Waddle might end up being the best. The best. Devontae Smith might end up being the best. You might patch up your secondary. You might be packaging all those picks together to go get Zach Wilson on a rookie contract and start this thing over again. And you might not even have to trade Jalen Hurts to do it because that doesn't really do anything for the New York Jets. Me and Justin talked about that. They could package it to the New York Jets and probably keep Jalen Hurts. They just want draft picks. Sam Darnold may or may not be on the move, but regardless, good move for the Eagles. I know everybody wanted Jamar Chase to stay at 6. It's not guaranteed even that he's going to be there. He might be going at 4 or 5. The right moves to move back, acquire some assets. I know, nothing happened with Atlanta, but this is the right move. Somebody that you love is going to be there. It's either going to be the top defensive player, the skill guy you have ranked the highest, or you're going to be able to acquire some more stuff. So clap it up for Roseman. Good job by him. Clearing cap space for Flacco didn't make much sense to me, but we'll solve the rest of the problems in the draft. Justin and I will be back Sunday. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys then. Big facts, all streaming platforms.